I learned that I have to stay closer to allies to heal with Moira, but in that case, I just died. Is this really right, or do I have to do it differently? So some positioning issues from what we see. Maybe when to heal your team and stuff. We'll see. In this fight, I felt totally useless. I couldn't save Mercy and I just died. Should I have switched to Ana? What should I have done here? I love your videos. Kisses from Brazil. Quick. We're starting with a couple of seconds remaining, chat. First team fight with your team dying. Let's see what happens. Damage rape. Hello. Damage rape. This is downtime. Nice. A little bit late, but okay. I love the proactivity here. Ana dies. For the damage, a bit too close. Okay. Welcome to support. Welcome to support. This is... sometimes when you play support, I'm not joking. It feels like you're sitting like this in a corner or somewhere, and everything's happening around you, and you don't know what's happening. You don't want to like raise your eyes, or you don't like want to see what's happening, right? Sometimes you feel that pressure. Okay, everybody feels it. You feel like you're getting hit from everywhere. You don't know what to do. You just want to crawl somewhere, hug yourself, and lay down. You know, this is how it feels. I'm not joking. This is how it feels sometimes. It's too much. No, hear me out. Keep your goddamn head up. I know it sounds cringe, but breathe. Okay? I'm not gonna die. They're not gonna kill me. This is okay. Head up. Okay? First things first. Look at your crosshair. You're already looking down. Like, see? Just breathe. Relax. Okay? 15 seconds in, you can see the enemy team composition. You should already think what you want to do with your team before the round starts. Let's go. So, because you can't see the enemy team composition. You have Cassidy, you have Farah, you have Moira, you have Reinhardt, you have Ana. Let's think a little bit. Can you do something with your Farah? No. You don't care about your Farah unless you see her. Can you do something with your Ana, Reinhardt, and Cassidy? Yes. Which means staying close to them, well, you'll be able to heal them. Now, what happens if you are playing with another support that offers a ton of healing? Right? What happens? You have a ton of healing. Which means that if the enemies don't have the same, they're playing with Lucio Kiriko in this case, they don't have a ton of healing. Which means that if you pour more and more resources into your Reinhardt, into your Cassidy, expecting them to hit shots or do something in gold, they're probably not going to understand the advantage that they have healing-wise, and you're going to lose the fights. Which means that maybe you don't need that much healing, and you should focus on doing damage. TikTok Moira style. If your Ana doesn't heal and she wants to do damage, that's fine. But usually this is what you see in high ratings as well. If you're not playing with an optimal team composition in which somebody kind of like off heals, I would say, and somebody main heals. If you play with two main supports, main healing supports, okay, that can mass heal their team and keep everybody alive, then usually one of them will do damage. You've seen me say this as well. If I have a Moira in my team and I play Ana, I either let the Moira do damage or Ana does the damage. As in, I look to play more aggressively. So right now, with this positioning at the beginning, you're already starting passively. But this starts after also seeing the enemy team composition. You can see it 15 seconds in, or you can just see the enemies. Now, why this matters? Because playing with heroes like Ana and Zenyatta means that you have to protect them, okay? Even if they're playing with dive. So in this case, you walk out of spawn and think, is there something from the enemies that can kill the Ana? Let's see what you see. You walk out of spawn. You see Winston. You see Soldier. Kiriko TP. Throw the damage herb exactly at Soldier here. Faster damage herb. Some healing here is okay. You see Winston. You hear the Ana taking some damage. Try and look more at your Ana. Don't tunnel vision. Don't tunnel vision on your Reinhardt here, right? Because Ana's taking damage on the side. You see the Ana low a little bit. You hear the Genji. So right now, if you would have stayed in the back with Ana... What the hell is happening here? If you would have stayed in the back with Diana, maybe she could have lived. You could have shot the Genji. You could have sucked off the Genji. He cannot deflect your suck. You'd have gotten the kill. Step 1, make sure your Ana or Zenyatta is safe. Step 2, then proceed to be more aggressive. So this is why the fight was lost. Now, imagine the fight, picture the fight like this. You walk out a spawn, you throw a damage orb, you see the enemy team composition, but you only see 4. You hear Kiriko, you see Soldier, you see Winston, you see Lucio. Where's the 5th one? This is what has to go in your head at the beginning. Where's the 5th one? You know? This is what it would have gone in my head right now. Is there a Tracer lurking? Is there a Sombra? What's happening? Where's the 5th one? I don't know where they are. Who will the 5th one go for? Cassidy or Ana? But Ana most of the time. So right now, you're just looking in front. Your poor Ana needs help. She's standing still here. This is on her. Right? Boom. Dodge. I'm not saying that you could have saved her here. But maybe you could have done a lot of damage to Genji and pressured him away. Ana standing still here. Not okay. Genji just dies here. So step number 1, try and think what the enemies can do to you. See what a team comp has. Make sure that you pocket you see that your other support, if they're playing with Zenyatta or Ana, is safe. And try and be more, don't be that afraid of the enemies. One more thing that I want to highlight. You're walking here because you want to help Reinhardt. This is okay, right? But you can also like just play from around here. Heal the Reinhardt and also see this angle. Because right here, you're just boxing yourself in. You know what I mean? It's very easy for the enemies to go for you here. But if you play around here, you have this cover. A lot of players in Overwatch are scared of corners, dude, and of walls. So just heal from here. Maybe peek a little bit, do some damage. Bam, 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 bam. Instead of like look at this vision that he had here. See how claustrophobic it is, maybe, sometimes? With how tight of a space it is? You're just making yourself a target here. But playing from here with the fade that you have, open it up a little bit. Like, see where Cassidy's playing from. Open it up, because you have the fade, okay? If the enemies shoot you, they don't shoot your allies, which means you don't have to heal your allies, which means you have more resources, they have more space. There's like a domino effect. And if the enemies shoot you and you're afraid you're gonna die, you can always go back and cover, or you have your fade. You can always fade back. Fights like these happen, though. Let's not overthink these, but this fight exactly. But good example, though. Good fight, basic, at the beginning. And this fight felt totally useless. Should he switch to Ana? What should he have done here? Okay, let's see this. It's 804, 838. 804, 838. I like this. Could have also thrown a melee for extra damage. It's 30.
Surrender to my will.
Okay, what's happening? Fading. Is the fight lost? Yes. I will be very clear here. Yes. It is. Yes, the fight was lost because of target prioritization. It's not. This is one of the rare cases in which obviously you can point fingers at everybody and stuff, but I feel like in this case there are some things that we have to clarify, because this will help you win a lot more games. Let's see how I get in this situation first of all. So, what is happening? Breaking the target, nobody's spamming it. Okay, fine. Lucio dead, Kiriko dead, which very important. Very important. Let's watch the fight before it happens, because we have to understand spawns. So, whatever. I'm looking at you here, okay? I don't need to see your point of view. I'm looking at you. Ali's damaging. 1 kill, dead. 10 seconds of Kiriko not being there, and a couple of seconds for her to be back in the team fight. Absolutely dead. Nice, walking with your team. Dead. If you press tab, you can see the respawns and when they're going to happen approximately. Now, Soldier uses Visor. You get the target. Fade away because you're scared. You go aggressive. You heal a little bit. Damage orb. Suck. Maybe throw a melee in. Dead. Now let's press tab again. Lucio is still dead. He respawns. He needs time to walk back into the fight. Kiriko respawns. She can TP into the fight. Soldier just died. Your team is in a 5 versus 2 situation. Ryan pins in. What's happening? Kiriko TP then. Maybe you heard the TP. Maybe you're smart here. You heard the TP. And you want to cast Coalescence to go and kill the Kiriko. Maybe this is what you had in mind, right? So Lucio's not in a team fight. Soldier's not in a team fight. So your team is in a 5 versus 3. In theory, you should not have to use your ultimate here, right? So you shouldn't have to use your ultimate here. Because you have the numerical advantage. You should win this by just pressing W. But you throw this. You try to heal up the Mercy. She fades away. And after she fades away, because she was the target that you wanted to go for, you have to turn around and look at the Mercy and think what's happening to her in the backline. Because you focus on the turret there a little bit. It is not your responsibility as a Moira using Coalescence to break the turret. Okay? I think if Mercy would have lived here, you would have won the fight. You would have definitely won the fight. So let's go in your decision making a little bit again. So again, because of the respawn timers, you don't need to force anything. You already won the fight. Did I? Your team is 5 versus 3. You push. You have fade in 3 seconds. He pins in.
Surrender to my will.
If this would have been top 500, your decision would have been really good. You would have faded in and focused Kiriko because you saw Kiriko TPing in. You ignore. You shoot the Kiriko a little bit. Maybe turn around and heal the Mercy. And survive. But over here, look where you cast the ultimate as well. Look how clustered everything is. You know what I mean? Look at how clustered everything is. Right? You're just... This is a bad position overall. You don't need to use your ultimate to heal the Moira, to heal the Mercy here. You should have div a little bit. You should have payload. You should have wall. Should have Kiriko. Good target prioritization here. But now think of this. Can I kill somebody with my ultimate? Can we kill somebody? No, we can't. But there was somebody behind on my Mercy. So I turn around and take care of my Mercy. Kill the Mercy. You see her a little bit late. And she's dead. After this, you don't need to fade to get back to your team. Nobody's shooting you. You could have just walked in front. Do some healing there. Start stacking off. Throw a healing orb. And now again, like, see, you're having downtime. You had like half a second in which you didn't heal, you didn't do damage. Okay, so let's go again. What you could have done. Let's make it very simple. Let's watch from above. This is how you have to see teamfights in Overwatch, and I would say that you have to see them, especially as a support. This is what should go in your head when playing. So, fight starts, 1 is dead. Press tab, 2 are dead. You don't need to use ultimates. You will win. They use ultimates, dead. Using ultimates here is a strategy to do in top 500 because you can catch them 1 by 1 and you're more probable at losing fights 5 versus 5. Right? But I feel like in this rating, if you have ult advantage, you will probably win. So over here, your ultimate is not necessary until the team regroups or you're 100% sure you can get kills. You use Coalescence to shoot the D.Va here, which makes it a very bad angle. You're afraid that they're going to focus the Moira. Let's say that he invested your ultimate here. Fine. Would not be needed though, because again, you have the numerical advantage. Look at where Lucio is, and Soldier's out of the fight. Even if Lucio's back, you're 5 versus 4. Let's say you want to save Mercy. You save Mercy, you shoot D.Va. Instead of saving Mercy, what are you going to do? You're going to tickle the mech a little bit? No, this is not pressure. You do more pressure by doing a little bit of damage to the squishies than you do by doing damage to the tanks. Why? Because number 1, the tanks barely take damage, and number 2, even the amount of damage that they take, it's the percentage of damage that matters. How much does it matter for a DPS to be 100 HP versus a tank to be 500 compared to 600? You see the percentages? It's way more important to do a little bit of damage to the squishies than to do a little bit of damage to the tanks. But let's say that you shoot them a little bit. Because of this angle over here, you go and shoot the Kiriko. You probably have in the back of your head that D.Va is still behind on the Mercy. She TPs out. After you realize this, always look in the back for other support to make sure that they're safe. This is how they turn things around. So, your team being in a 5 versus 5, 5 versus 4 actually will win the fight usually. But how will the enemies win the fight? by creating split fights. In this case, the split fight is the following. Reinhardt, you, Sojourn, Junkrat versus half a player, one player, two players. And in the back, 2 versus 2. Right? 2 versus 1, actually. You're gonna turn around a little bit later. So, what do you have as a support is... What you have to do as a support is to avoid creating split fights. Avoid creating split fights. Deny them from having split fights, dude. If you see... if you're 5 versus 3... and the enemy Tracer wants to go for somebody in the back, then fine. Let your team deny the Tracer and then go back to your team. Avoid split fights. Avoid splitting the fights. You should have a Kiriko there. Okay, good. But then afterwards, when you turn around to heal up the Mercy, it's a little bit too late because you forgot. You thought that she was safe. You can look around more. And this is one of the reasons why... a lot of supports struggle. They're afraid to look around. Don't be afraid. You're not gonna die instantly, okay? And even if you die, it's okay. Like this position, for example, have you seen your sight lines here? This entire fight, you had a big advantage. And look where you're playing from.
Surrender to my will.
You casted there. Like, look at this. Ugh. Such tight space. It's like you're trying to have a bed, a desk, a wardrobe, 5 desks, 5 consoles in a very small room. You know what I mean? This is how it feels. Open it up. Widen it up, dude. Secondly, one more thing that you can do with Moira specifically. This is more of a mechanical thing. By the way, your resource management, I feel like it's good. You can wait. I don't know why you wanted to cast the ultimate. I think that you wanted to cast it to do damage because you knew you had the advantage, you wanted to pressure. But the enemy team was still regrouping. Your damage orb is up in 2 seconds. Wait for your orb to be up, throw the damage orb, and then cast your ultimate for extra damage. Or extra healing for that matter. So again, right now, okay, fine. You focus her, then remember, wait, there was somebody behind. There was somebody behind. Hey, target, it's not your responsibility. Not your responsibility to shoot the targets. And then over here, you fade to maybe try to get in range, but you can just walk a little bit in front to heal up the Junkrat instead of fading. Because maybe you heal up the Junkrat, Keiko shoots you, you crouch spam, maybe she uses Suzu on herself or something. And again, like over here when the fights are happening, like see how you're in the open when fading? When you fade, get in cover. Same thing as the previous VOD review. Play around here, play around this corner. And then you die. Let's continue watching. I think I'm actually going to go in training range for a little bit afterwards. I want to see 1 or 2 more fights. Let's see this.
Bothersome.
Don't care about Fire Mercy. You're down to do damage. Nice, I like this. Get closer. Do damage. Good. Do damage, do damage. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Monkey dives in. Okay, don't be afraid. He wasn't looking at you. He's not gonna do anything to you. You have the 1 HP. You have a fade. You have your team there. Don't be afraid. Chill. Walk in front. You're 4 versus 4. Damage, damage, damage rate. Boom. Walk. Damage. Even with Winston zaps you, you're not gonna die. See? See what I mean? Like you fade to reposition to get in a better position when you should fade after you pressure. If it does 1 or 2 damage to you, doesn't matter. For example, here. Okay, this is a good fade. You take damage, you back out. You ping. Nice. Don't stay in the open. Not in the open. Get in cover. You don't care about your fire or the healing orb. Heal up the guy a little bit more. Start doing damage. I like this. Good. Way to get the eyes at the target. Let's see the next team fight. Good damage or pressure before. I like this. I like this. You're not standing still, doing pressure. You can do more pressure. Be more annoying. Play behind the Reinhardt. You have a damage rep again. Monkey goes for you. Nice. See, you're not scared right now. You're not scared. This is what I'm talking about. This is good Moira gameplay. Not scared. Now you fade. The soldier behind. Good fade when you're getting low. Kill them up. I want to see how you approach this. I love this. Mercy is responsible in the back. You're responsible for pushing the payload in front.
A cure for all
You're good.
the tales.
Decision making is good, but you can get away with so much more. By the way, in case you're afraid of getting poke damage here, don't panic. You can always just play behind the payload. They can't shoot you if you're behind the payload. So no need to AD spam that much. Just stay behind the payload. You're afraid that he's gonna kill you. Understandable. You fade away. But if possible, try to throw the orb if you have it up. Genji behind you. Don't be afraid to throw the healing orb on yourself. No need to heal this much. See? Like, when you fade, you're in the open. Okay? When you fade, you're in the open. And actually, I'm going to not vote give you this anymore because I think that you can get more value out of this practice range. Because it's the same thing over and over, and I think that it's something imperative for supports to know this. So, when you play Moira and any hero, you should almost never be caught like this. When you have walls here and here. You can play from over here. This way, let's make a better example. You see your allies here, right? And the enemies can see you. If they want to go for you, they have to rotate all the way over here. So always, let's say for example, I'm getting damaged, right? I'm not going to fade and do this. What I'm gonna do though is fine. I go on an off angle, I get damage, and I plan. Cover. See what I mean? You're in cover. Corners, doors. Imagine you're playing Valorant and you're caught in the open. Imagine you're playing CSGO and you're caught in the open. Even if you're playing Moira and you're playing from here, the enemies, they can pick you. Always get in cover. It's similar to using Transcendence, and then when Transcendence is over, yes, you go aggressive, but when it's over, you kite back, right? And get in cover. You're never caught in the open. It's one of the reasons why a lot of tanks are struggling as well, and they go like, but where's my heals? But play around the walls. You don't have shield with Reinhardt? Fine, stay here. You have shield, walk in front. Stay here. Same with Moira. You do damage, you're aggressive. Oh no! Cover. I'm not saying that you can. Oh, you should always plan when this should happen, right? You should always plan like, okay, so I'm gonna damage from here, and then I'm gonna fade in the back because it is unrealistical. But maybe over here, debate. Think. Where is the safest spot I can get to as fast as possible? So for example, I get damaged, I fade. Same thing here. It's the same with Kiriko. When you TP in back to your team, that's when you're most vulnerable. Moira as well. When you use your fade, that's when you're most vulnerable. You saw the Genji going for you there. You were afraid. What's happening? I heal Reinhardt. Okay, Reinhardt. You're making it hard for you because here's what's happening. What do we see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 healing abilities, resources, damage, cooldowns, ultimates, payload, everything. But what do you see here? Oh, ally. Oh, okay, this is nice. This is chill. You're simplifying your work, my dude. You're complicating it yourself if you don't do this. You're simplifying it. Same with anybody. Okay? Sometimes in scuff games in top 500, people don't let you do this. But over here, you go aggressive. I love how you go aggressive, and then you fade back, and you play in cover. Okay? You play in cover. You work aggressive all the time, which I like. I don't know if you're aware of the damage combo though, with Coalescence. Like for example, the enemy team was regrouping. You're 5 versus 3. Keiko TP then. You had 2 seconds until your orb. If you use your ultimate, can you kill somebody? No. If the answer is no, then don't ult in this case. If you use your ultimate to save somebody, do they actually need the ultimate? No. If the answer is no, then don't ult. If you have your damage orb, or if you have your orb available in 2 seconds and you really want to ult, that's when you want to ult to apply pressure. So for example, you had like 2 seconds, you couldn't get the kills on the enemies, you couldn't see all of them, there was nobody isolated, you couldn't, your Mercy didn't need healing from Coalescence to keep her up, you could just do this. And thirdly, you had 2 seconds until your orb was up. And this is the combo that you do. You either go a healing orb or a damage orb like this.
Surrender to my will.
A little bit faster, I just wanted to show what not to do. Every time when I do this, it always happens like this. My bad, bro. Okay, my bad. Let me heal up again. Oh, by the way, one more tip that I have.
Lending a hand.
You can do it slower, of course. It always happens when I want to show things off like this when I explain. I don't know why. It's like explanation cuts. One more thing that you can do with Moira if you can get used to it. Melee and fade. So you can do this. You press the melee key and then you fade. There's no downside to it. Okay, so you can just go and be like... Just claw him and get away. Because I like how you're playing. You know? Let me get my ultimate and just show you this once again. Blah, 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 blah. You want to get close? Melee fade. Let me heal them up. Melee fade. And now let's wait for this. This is how your ultimate should always be used. Like I would say, in case you desperately need the ult to get kills or to heal, you should always do this. Damage orb and coalescence, or healing orb and coalescence. Damage orb if your team is full HP. If your team is not full HP or like they're like half HP, you can see the plus signs, then healing orb and coalescence. And with this, let's go into what Olaf recommends. Olaf review. Olaf review. You are a bit more aggressive than the other Moira that we have watched. You play more by yourself instead of with your team. So, aim related, I wouldn't say you need to focus that much on your aim because it is Moira. About your positioning, I feel like your positioning is good overall, but it could be improved. I'm gonna put it like this. Your cooldown management, your resource meter is nice. You could just wait a little bit for your ultimate, but I feel like to get your orb up for your ultimate, but I feel like your cooldowns don't need that much work. You know how to deal with the resources. Now, let me do it like this. Okay. And now, I would say decision making is a little bit higher. So, let's go step by step. Let's go about aim. Aim with Moira, not that important. It's okay, you don't need to do aim training with Moira. It was good what you were doing. Cooldown management, this is about your fade usage and your damage orb and heal orb before your ultimate is up. Try to wait in case you don't need to ultimate at that moment because somebody's gonna die or you can get a kill. Then wait for your orb to be available. This is why I'm putting cooldown management a little bit higher because you can always get more value out of your ultimates. Secondly, we go into... let's go into decision making. I want to say we go into positioning, but let's go into decision making. Your decision making is good, but sometimes you're boxing yourself in. It goes connected with positioning, which is like the bigger issue. I feel like you get yourself boxed in, and you have to be more decisive. And to be more decisive, you have to look around a little bit more. Okay, you have to look a little bit more. Like you weren't aware of where Anna was. You weren't aware that at the beginning of the round you have to keep track of the enemies, what the enemies can do to your Anna. Just a little bit of positioning, a little bit of positioning, of decision making that you need to work on before the fight starts. Now, about positioning, the biggest issue: do not box yourself in. When you fade back in cover, play around walls a little bit more, and try to make more space by taking wide angles and then going back around walls and stuff, because if the enemy shoot you, they don't shoot your allies. Now, let's go a little bit down, and Olaf recommends you do the following. Number 1. This will help you win more team fights, and it's very easy to do. Wait for your orb to be available for your ult. If team has plus signs, then throw heal plus damage. If you feel heal plus ult, heal orb. If your team is healthy or you feel like they won't... I'm gonna go like this. They won't take damage that much, then damage orb it is. Okay, number 2, I would say for number 2, when you fade back in cover. Number 3, When you fade back and cover, yes, this is good. Use the back of the payload as cover with no need to AD spamming. Look up a little bit more. Don't play in close spaces that you put yourself in. Okay? Other than that, I think that's it. Like, honestly, I really think that's it, dude. I really think that's it. So, these are some pretty basic things, I would say. This is one that you're gonna get value out of the most and the fastest. Wait for your up to be available before your ultimate. When you fade back and cover, you're already playing aggressive, you know what to do, but you don't fade back to a wall. So keep doing this and fade back to a wall or fade back to your team. This is similar to number 2. Use the back of the payload as cover. If the enemies go after you, then your team can shoot them. Make the enemies work for it. Don't be caught in the open. And this goes also hand in hand with this. Don't box yourself in. Okay? You can take a bit of damage without dying. If you take damage, you can always fade.
Hey, I'm Olaf. If you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe. Meow.